What if you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Position yourself to receive from God with Bishop David G. Evans teaching When Men Pray.
Have there been times when you have asked someone to pray for you and the prayer has not been answered? Because instead of praying for yourself, you waited until someone else that you thought had more power would pray for you. Prayer is something that you resort to immediately and not as a last resort. You need to learn how to pray preemptively. You need how to pray ahead of time. Don't always be praying in response. Pray proactively. Pray before it happens. Lord, cover my child. Lord, bless my day.
Develop your relationship with God with this dynamic teaching on CD or DVD when you write to us. Visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480.
Adversaries come in many forms, but you will be victorious when you realize that worship is warfare.
Adversaries are necessary because without them, you never really discover your purpose.
We've accepted what somebody told us we were in our past. So our past is sabotaging our ability to hear instruction.
We are not much unlike a battery. The negative is the thing that's needed to produce the power.
I empowered you to overcome everything you've overcome up to this present moment. I fixed you for what's going to happen after this. You were in the mind of God long before you were ever born.
You are not alone in your battle. God has your back because worship is warfare. Put these 4 messages in your arsenal today on CD or DVD. Equip yourself by visiting our website or by calling 1-800-591-8480.
Good morning. Welcome to Onpointe. Yeah, welcome to Onpointe. This is Pastor Nick Smith. We welcome you every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. We appreciate you guys for tuning in, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope. We're so glad you're watching us today. Do us a favor and hit that share button. Let people know that we are on. Again, on Periscope, you can retweet that. You can also share it with your followers. Same thing on Facebook and on YouTube. Please, again, hit that share button. Let people know that we're on as we talk about some relevant cultural as well as political topics, Bible topics, from a very relevant cultural perspective. Give us a call at 866-743-8267. Again, 866-743-8267. That's our call-in numbers. I'm also checking the Facebook stream. You can comment there, and we're looking on there. And again, you can give us a call at 866-743-8267. Again, we welcome all of our guests today watching us online. We hope you guys had a great 4th of July holiday. Some of us were off on Thursday and Friday, so we're still trying to catch our bearings. Praise the Lord. Please don't forget, tomorrow is our first Sunday. We'll be here as we celebrate freedom and liberty. Wear your white, all white if you can. If you don't have all white, just wear white with something else. It's okay. Yeah, just make sure you got something white on. Celebrate holiness, freedom, sanctification. It was so hard to find white pants for a man. But we're doing it both of our services as well as communion.
I don't have no white.
For our whiteout service. You got white? I had, look, it took me forever to find some white jean pants.
They sell them?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Found a pair and it's okay. We'll make it work some way, somehow.
Yeah.
As we celebrate
Morning.
tomorrow. Amen.
There was a rifleman marathon. I had never seen episode 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
I guess James and Bishop the only ones that know a rifle. Yeah.
James know what I'm talking about.
Y'all the country west.
The Western guys. James know what I'm talking about.
All right.
Did you know Sam Peckinpah used to be the director for it?
That would explain a lot.
Yes.
Because he's pretty.
I saw his name today. I said, no kidding.
No, I didn't know that, but that does explain.
Explains why it was so good.
Yes.
There's a marathon coming on soon or something.
Who?
Who's the big Western guy? Not Clint Eastwood. Who's the other guy? John Wayne. There you
Oh
go.
yeah, they all the time.
Yeah.
All the time, man. You got. It's
Yeah.
always a Wayne
Yeah,
marathon.
him and somebody else is on.
And Law and Order, you know, it's just Law and Order.
Law and Order is always on.
Yeah,
You still watch Law and Order?
Oh yeah.
Now you'd have probably seen every single.
I thought I did.
The original Law and Order.
I thought I
right?
did. I thought I hadn't.
Okay. All right.
I saw at least 3 yesterday that I didn't. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to On Point, #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. On any smart device, David G. Evans, 1-866-743-8267, 1-866-743-8267. Give us a call. A lot going on this week.
Yeah.
I've come to the conclusion that there are people that are supporters of my president that the only way they can do it is they've learned how to just ignore some stuff that he does. They just kind of the economy's better, so that validates this. And then we're finding out that the economy is not better for everybody. What do you think it is about working people that are minimally impacted by a shift in the economy, and sometimes not affected? What I think sometimes we actually say is that the economy's better for other people, and we adopt that betterness for us, even though we may not be immediately able to see it. And I could be wrong. If you've got 4 people you're trying to support, 6 people you're trying to support, you get an extra $35 in your check twice a month. To me, that's not a major thing that's going to happen, because you probably waste $35 a week doing some other stuff. So what is it about? Economically, why do you think we lump ourselves in with Wall Street and the wealthy when they're really the only people that the tax break helped, that the funding and the laws that are being put in place, a lot of stuff's going to hurt consumers. Why do you think that the average American includes themselves in a better that minimally or rarely touches their lives?
It's funny you brought this up. I think that it's two things. There's the hope of aspiration that one day that could be me,
Okay.
and that America's a free country and all of us can eventually be wealthy, which can't be true in a capitalistic society. The other thing is it's funny how I saw this meme. You pit working class people against each other, and they forget who the real enemy is.
Absolutely.
I hate to use the word enemy, but they forget who the real problem is. That this country was always set up for wealthy people.
Absolutely.
Specifically, wealthy white men.
Absolutely.
But if we can get all of us fighting at the bottom, we'll never be able to overturn what's going on at the top.
And I also think there are times when, as a culture, if we've got a few TV personalities or athletes, then we can be lulled into a mindset that all people are doing better. It's not true.
Not at all.
Just like there's this rarefied air of 3% of the population holds 97% of the wealth. Then when you look at our communities and other minority communities, there's probably less than 3% that have money. But here's the issue. Say LeBron James has money. If that guy King, the commentator late at night, on for years.
Larry King.
Larry King.
Yeah.
If Larry King woke up LeBron's money in the morning, Larry King would need a doctor.
Right. It's true. That's true. Right. Yeah.
He need medicine.
Yeah.
So it's all relative. We tend to lump ourselves in with, so and so's making $100 million playing basketball, so I'm doing better.
Right.
That's not true.
It's not true at all. It's funny. I was out eating yesterday with the kids, and the waitresses were talking behind us about how Murphy and them are doing the minimum wage hike,
right?
Where they're trying to get everybody up to $15. And they were complaining about, now these are waitresses now.
Okay.
Complaining about the minimum wage having to be increased.
Why?
Because their whole thing is then businesses won't have the money to pay people because of this mandatory increase. They're going to have to start laying people off because businesses won't be able to afford the salary increase. And I wanted to turn around so bad and say to them, you're worried about businesses having to increase the salaries of people. When are you going to start complaining about the CEO's increases that, watch this, could pay for all of these salaries?
Absolutely.
You're not mad about their private jet.
Nope.
You're not mad about their $10 million bonus every single year. They got the best healthcare in the world. They're giving you less than. So you're mad that, watch this, you're a waitress. You and your people got to get paid more. But you're okay with the CEO.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm not against CEOs making a whole bunch of money.
But
not against that.
But here's this perspective is absolutely correct. How do you have a problem with your coworker getting more money? But you don't have a problem with a guy getting a $500 million bonus at the end of the year in the company you're working for.
Yeah. Even if the company goes in a loss that year, the CEO still gets the.
Like maybe I'm just naive. I don't see how. My president goes away every weekend. We have the first part-time president we ever had.
Right.
I mean, it's true now. He's off 3 or 4 days a week.
Yeah.
Every single week, he's off. At a golf club, you can't tell me he's doing a whole lot of work. Right. They're spending at least $3 million on security every weekend. That's not the whole tab.
Yep.
People that follow him, they try to act like that doesn't exist while he's cutting things that would benefit them. How do you spend? I don't know how much he spent since he's been in office, how many weekends he's been in office.
Last week was $105 million.
So he spent $105 million on weekends.
Golf trips,
but golf trips, but they're cutting out programs that help people. And the people that voted for him that are losing the help are acting like they don't see it as okay.
Because they're different.
How's that different?
In the sense of, remember the welfare queen, the first Bush?
Yeah.
They made welfare handouts more of a brown thing. But my thing is like this: most of the people in the country that need those handouts are in rural America. They're
not brown.
They're not brown. So, but again, it's the United States owes this to me. Over here, you guys are just savages, and you're takers. Put it that way.
So, I'm do it if I live in a certain area.
Yeah.
You're not do it if you live in a certain area.
That book, oh my God, it's right
Hillbilly,
there. Hillbilly Elegy.
Okay.
Explained it so well. And when
there's an entitlement?
There's an entitlement there that this country owes me, so they should help me. Y'all, it shouldn't do the same thing. When you read the book,
so are we back down to this is not really your country, it's my country, and they're supposed to help me?
Yes.
Okay.
So when trade and all that stuff started to change, technology came in, and rural America started to suffer, which they did, because all those jobs started to close down.
Yeah.
It was the government's fault that we're in poverty. Now, go to Chicago, Philadelphia, the Bronx,
it's the people's
Los Angeles, it's the people's fault.
Wow.
When you read that book, it really feels like you're reading about a story from somebody that lives in the hood.
Really?
Except the color's different, that's all.
So there's this vast entitlement that is absolutely justifiable based on your geography and your ethnicity. Living in the same country. Okay.
It's the government's fault, not the CEO of that business that chose to close that plant down and move it to Mexico to save more money.
But aren't a lot of people in the president's constituency against bailouts?
Until it's convenient for them.
Like I'm wondering now, are the coal workers still in support of my president, even though he lied blatantly to them about saving the coal industry? Because there's no need for it. My mind just doesn't wrap around this.
It goes back to, I mentioned a couple of times on here, they interviewed a guy from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And they said all the steel plants that Trump promised to keep open were closing down.
Absolutely.
His thing was, they asked him, would you vote for him again? He said, as long as he makes those black players stand for the national anthem, I will vote for him again. Never mind, I'm losing my job.
Well,
this is what he said.
That makes sense. That makes sense to me because here in New Jersey, we had those storms, and a lot of people who voted for the governor at the time never got the relief they were supposed to get. He was up for election again. They're homeless, basically, and they voted for him again, even though he messed up the relief.
That's insane, man.
It makes so I'm outdoors because of your policies,
right?
But I've always said the racial vote is not logical.
Not logical at all.
Okay, it's not logical.
Yep.
Okay.
It's only way you can get close to the thought process. It's just not logical. We're looking for logic.
Yeah, and there is none.
If you're the reason I'm not working, lost my house, all this other stuff, I'm not voting for you.
No, but Trump was there, bring America back to where it was before.
But it's not.
We know it's not. He was their answer to their issue with Obama.
Make America great again is a perspective statement.
Yep.
It's not a collective. Make it the way I thought it was when it was great.
Yep.
For me. And here's the other piece. Most of the people wearing the hats will never benefit from what he's doing.
No.
As a matter of fact, they're going to pay for the tax cuts.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I've been watching this migrant thing, and I've been just trying to observe because I see it's a volatile issue. We've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
We have to have control of our borders. I get that.
Absolutely.
But the way we're treating people, historically, I don't know when this changed, and everybody's willing that can correct me, please do so. The kind of stuff we're doing to people, we used to criticize passionately and send armies and all that kind of stuff to correct those situations. Kids getting snatched away, folk in detention camps. I don't care what they call those cages. They can try to call them whatever they want to call them. When you look, here's the thing. When you look at them, is that where you would want to be tomorrow in those conditions? And the answer is no. So for me, the stuff we call that in another country human rights violations. That's what we call it.
Yep.
But now suddenly, the country who quote unquote had the standard of human rights for everyone is doing the very thing we vilified in so many other dictatorial situations. What happened to us?
Money. Whoever's running these detention camps are
Making bucks.
Crazy money.
They're making bucks.
The amount of money they're making every single day.
They're making bucks.
But I go back to always when Trump got elected, the only stock that did not fall was those prison stocks.
True.
Every other stock fell except that one.
Well, you might be missing two more.
Okay.
Strip joints and
That's true. It is. I forgot they got stock in them now. Yeah.
And liquor stores.
Oh, yeah.
They actually have what they call those things, stock funds and mutual funds.
I forgot
around those two industries. They're the only two that don't go down in a recession.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I forgot that they did put strip clubs on the
strip club mutual funds and liquor store mutual funds always retain their value. And now that we have a president that actually has an affinity for the strip part, he doesn't drink. So it's just.
But the amount, and the other thing is the amount of colleges, big companies that have investments in these detention programs and prisons and strip clubs and stuff like that is amazing.
Absolutely.
Making crazy money investing in prisons.
Absolutely.
It's the cottage industry.
Well, and what was amazing was that now I might be the only one that saw this. So correct me. There's no way these detention centers were built in like 6 days.
They were around for a while.
So you've got buildings in New York that are dedicated to this thing, which means somebody in the real estate business was given the 411 and said, look, this is coming down the pike. Guys started buying these buildings, outfitting these buildings, and now, which is why the government is sending them from Mexico to New York, Mexico to Washington State, because that's where the properties have been developed in anticipation of this thing. So we're getting the impression from the news that, they migrated and suddenly these detention centers sprang up. No, sir.
These detention centers, I think, been around since the first Bush, I think, all through Clinton and all that stuff like that. So they've been around.
But these new ones in New York, these dorms,
the new ones now are different.
Yeah,
the inhumanity that's going on is.
We would bomb another country for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Needs to be a coup. Send the CIA in to help to overthrow the government.
Yeah.
But now we're doing it. And what bothers me is it's okay with a lot of people.
Yep.
Under the guise of guarding our borders.
Yeah. And using scripture to say that you're supposed to obey the laws of the land. But the law of the land said slavery was okay at one point in time. It said that, getting away with murder was... sometimes the laws aren't... I read
an article yesterday that said these evangelicals are going to have a hard time recovering from this. Because they've gone way out.
Yep.
I wish we could play a clip of Maldonado's explanation of this whole platform thing.
Next week, right?
That's amazing to me. What can you do? Now, why would he cut education, recreation, legal services for unaccompanied immigrant children? Why would he do that?
They cut out soccer.
You know what?
Learn to speak English. Yeah.
I got a problem.
Yeah.
All right, so we're $1 trillion in debt now, or more. And it's almost like they're grabbing hold of a couple quarters to try to make up for the deficit. It's not going to work.
No.
The bottom line is they were willing to throw us into this debt to award a few people in the economy. I don't understand what happens. When Democrats are in office, the deficit is poison to Republicans.
Yep.
When Republicans are in office, all of a sudden, we don't want to talk about it. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, no, yeah. Because again, it's for what they.
It's a good use of funds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was told by Republican governors.
Mhm.
We see it as a good use of funds.
Never mind helping people.
No, well,
It's just-
hurting people.
Yeah.
I saw it happen at the Turnpike. Cut their wages by 30% over the weekend. Advertised, the amount of the cut was advertised to promote the cuts. And I brought up a simple question. If you can spend 400, 500 grand to promote the fact that you're taking people's money,
Right. Yeah.
why not just let them alone?
Yeah. Use that money for that.
Well, no, didn't want to do that.
But again, the working class. If you get the working class fighting amongst each other, you missed the bigger.
What I said was I said I don't understand, because I was advising to the chair and on I think I was on the finance committee too. I can't remember right now, and I think I was. Yes, So I advised that at the time, since we were the most solvent organization within the government, we had $1 billion something in the bank. Did we need a wage cut?
Right. No.
We did one thing to consolidate insurance, and in one deal saved $33 million.
Jeez.
One deal.
Yeah.
Pull some stuff together, got it together, said, why can't we do this?
Right.
33 million.
Jeez.
And you're going to cut wages.
Right.
So when I raised my hand and brought up the thing, that's when I lost my seat.
Okay.
I got a call over the weekend. I was here doing a sermon one Saturday night and got a phone call from a young lady, not even just like a secretary, and said, well, we won't need you anymore. Oh, really? Okay.
Okay.
That's cool.
Wow.
Okay.
Because again, when you try to help people, it's
They told me it was a good use of funds.
that's disheartening. That's disheartening.
And the same folk voted for him again. You didn't cut my wages 30%, and you vote for me again? Something about the American voting public that politicians know that obviously we are not getting. Either we forget, we really don't care.
We're loyal to what hurts us. And some people didn't like it when he said it, but I think it's partially true.
Okay.
Bill Maher, whether you like him or not,
Yeah, he's controversial.
he said the American voting public, it's very blunt.
Yes.
It's very dumb.
Okay.
And for a portion,
We give the impression that it's true.
I'm,
We give the impression that it's true. We can't get around it.
because again, it goes back to why would you vote for that?
1-866-743-8267, 1-866-743-8267. This is On Point. Give us a call. So Wells Fargo mistakenly forecloses on some people?
How does that happen?
Do you know how much stuff you got to do to foreclose on somebody?
Yeah, they were purposely people were sending their refinance packets in. Somehow in the process,
It's not somehow. I'm going to ready to tell you. Go ahead.
it didn't work out right, and then they start foreclosing on these people's houses, and then now they took them to court. Now they got to pay them compensation, but they're like, we lost our house.
We lost our houses. So what kind of compensation?
It's like-
Should be at least another house of equal or greater value.
Fix their credit.
And-
They gave them $15,000.
Yeah, it's about 15 to 25.
That's not going to do
What
it.
you gonna buy with that? You
That's
know
enough to go in debt
$15,000.
for another 30 years with another house.
And now, never mind, your credit history now is jacked up.
Yep. So, I was working with a major mortgage organization, and one of the things that we did was stop foreclosures. Couldn't figure out exactly what was happening. So, I think Wells was one of them. They had 2 operations going on. You sent your restructure into Building A. The same time they had the foreclosure process going on in Building B. So they would keep delaying you, telling you that you didn't have any kind of, your documents were missing, stuff was out of timing, you do this again, do that again, submit the whole packet again, whole 9 yards, while the whole time over in Building B, the foreclosure is going ahead with speed. So you think you're getting a workout.
That's cool, man.
Doc, it was something else.
That's cool. So, because they know the housing prices are going to rise again. So
Look.
they have all this property.
Look, They build up the reserve,
Mm-hmm.
and then they sell it off to organizations that want to handle that, and they make money.
People are so cold,
Doc.
man. They just don't.
Look, I was in commercial banking for quite a while.
Mhm.
I know how they roll. And when
That's
you
a shame,
when you
man.
try to bring some sanity to one of those high level board meetings, you're taking your career in your own hands.
Okay.
You know.
But my thing is, why can't you? It's obviously has been revealed that you can make a significant portion of money while being good to people at the same time. I mean,
Absolutely can, but there's a percentage, maybe 1 or 2 more percent, that you can make
yeah,
that the lack of humanity requires. That you do some things to make that 1 or 2 more percent. Sometimes even 0.5%.
yeah. But 0.5% compared to
On 100 million or 200 million
yeah.
or 3
that's
billion.
That's a significant
That's what they're
amount
looking
of
at.
money.
So are these people,
Mhm.
is their inconvenience or mistreatment worth this 2% on another $1 billion? And they'll say no very quickly.
Wow. That's cold, man.
Well, look, my president did a lot of building in Atlantic City.
yeah.
I talked to some of the attorneys that were involved in those transactions, and the number of people that were damaged by him not paying the bills and foreclosing and all that good stuff was staggering because there's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
I do the drywall. You decide to wait till the end of the job. You string me along. I finish the job. You're stringing me along. Then finally you file bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So my supplier still has to be paid.
Right.
So I can't pay the supplier. I can't pay my mortgage because most of the contractors aren't floating in money.
Right.
So if one guy doesn't pay, then that has a ripple effect on the entire organization.
Yeah.
So school for your kids, mortgage for your house, the supplier that you buy from, and when I saw the interview with my president, he said he was within the law to do it.
Mm-hmm.
No humanity at all.
None.
There was nothing illegal about what I did. So
Okay.
I understand Sister Melania had a fashion faux pas the other day.
I don't know. I didn't see that.
They said it rained at the inaugural event. I mean, the July 4th thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it got transformed into a kind of a wet attire kind of thing. She got drenched.
I didn't watch the thing.
And as the mothers from the old church would say, it was revealed she had no foundation on underneath. As the mothers in the old church used to say,
Yeah.
there was no foundation.
Yeah.
Who even watched that, man?
I didn't even see it.
The only clip that I saw
I ain't even
was
heard nothing about
of our president saying that there were airports in
Not
during the
out.
Revolutionary War time.
I got criticized online for
I
saying
saw that.
Yeah,
saw
but
that.
after I wrote him back, he didn't answer.
Of course not. And somebody was like, "Well, his teleprompter went off."
No,
you don't
no,
need
no,
a teleprompter to know
No,
there were no airports then.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. The teleprompter did not go off because he kept reading. Okay, so this is what teleprompters do. They only show what's been typed into them. They don't create any language.
Right.
And the language not being created as he's doing the speech.
Yeah.
So, and I made the point. There are people that are supposed to make him look brilliant, so it never should have gotten to the teleprompter.
Yeah.
But somebody in his office doesn't know their American history.
And even if
I mean, if
common sense
airports
will tell you, you talk
in the 1800s,
right?
Well, he don't know it either. So
Common sense, and people like, well, and if this was a one-time thing where he made this mistake once in his presidency, I can kind of give him somewhat of a
Yeah.
pass. But this is a non-stop, consecutive. Frederick Douglass is still alive. Andrew Jackson, talked about the Civil War. Just these.
So everybody with the teleprompter excuse can look. How long have I been working with teleprompters?
Yeah. You would go back and say, let me fix that.
If I see something that might be a typo or something,
You fix
I know how to.
Edit it.
You edit it while you're doing it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, you stop. Well, that's not right. Something.
Yeah, something.
Your
Let me go back
president
again.
doesn't
Yeah.
have that skill.
I'll just change it. I'll see. Okay, that's not right.
Yeah.
Your president doesn't have that skill.
Or pause real quick and just
Yeah. Just kind of okay. That I'm not reading that.
like at an airport and
But he doesn't know his history.
the memes and pictures that people have.
It was horrible.
They got George Washington and in the airplane.
Ron Burgundy.
They got George Washington in the airplane
They got the boat where he's crossing the Delaware
Yeah.
in the airport.
at an airport.
People created all this stuff. It's just
He's like Ron Burgundy. Whatever you put on the teleprompter, I'm going to read it. Whatever it is.
do you know? Here's the other crazy thing.
What?
Now, I whoever created this, it was genius.
Okay.
They turned the quick parts of that day into an ad for his campaign.
You mean the patriotic parts?
That's all
Oh,
that
yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Turned
Did
it
you see
into
the
an
one
ad.
where he was on the tank?
That was the purpose.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, he's like riding the tank from the outside.
Turned it into an ad. Oh yeah, I did see that picture.
Yeah, looked like he's surfing.
Turned it into an ad. And the video is actually nice. But again, it goes back to you're using government funds and taxpayer money to create ads for your political platform.
Anybody else was doing that, the Republicans would be on a trip to the moon.
Absolutely. And I had one conservative say, we don't care about Trump's golfing because have you seen how the economy's working? I'm like, when are you going to acknowledge that President Obama's economy, considering there was a recession,
Right.
is very good?
That's
it was
right.
very good. And y'all complained about him golfing, and he didn't even golf every weekend.
No, all he did was watch the NCAAs. And he was not using his presidential time properly.
He went to Broadway, took his wife to Broadway one time. It's an inconvenience of taxpayer money to go celebrate in
But they're
New York
saying
City.
nothing. He's spending. They're spending like $7-10 million a weekend, so he can play golf at his own golf course. Now, as far as I know,
Conflict of office.
if I'm going to my own property, I can see the CIA. I can even see going on the plane that's fit for the president. But are there some expenses you should reimburse the government for because they're personal?
Well, technically, your presidents are supposed to, like all their food that they eat every day,
Yeah.
they're supposed to pay for all that. So there are some parts where presidents does pay back, pay for during the course of the year.
So why okay, this just popped in my head. So they don't mind him spending how much? $100 million since he's been president?
Yep, on golfing, yes.
But they're upset with our former president making like what, $40 million because he got a book deal? That they're not even
Right. He's not even in office anymore.
they're not generating?
Yeah. Taxpayers aren't paying for it.
You know what's wrong? He
Go
was
ahead, no,
he
go
was
ahead.
intelligent. That's what the problem.
He was intelligent, he was
Yeah,
black.
That's
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Yeah.
He was intelligent.
He was intelligent, yeah.
He was intelligent. Because this guy, my president, obviously is not a brilliant person. And I don't like what I'm not comfortable with is his immaturity.
Yeah.
It bothers me that the leader of the free world is as immature and reactionary as he is. That bothers me. But it seems not to bother the people that voted for him.
Not at all. And did you see the video of Ivanka in the G20? And
Why was she there?
yeah, you could tell she was a fish out of water. They were all talking. She was trying to chime in. They're all looking at her like, girl.
Why was she
And
there?
They sent her there, and if you're in an environment.
Does
if I'm-
being a relative make an ambassador?
They shouldn't. It's like it's like me being in a room, it's you and 10 other big bishops in there. My mouth's going to be shut 98.9% of the time.
Unless you're asked a
Unless I ask
question.
a question. Well, she looked like a fish out of water.
Yeah, but she was trying to butt in. She
Yeah.
need to listen.
Right. Just be quiet and listen. Learn.
Well, she's a Trump.
Yeah. That's true.
So I don't get it. 1-866-743-8267, 1-866-743-8267. We should be coming up on a break pretty soon. Like it's 10 minutes up already.
Oh, it's 20 minutes.
So we're
That was
having
wrong. Yes.
this is wrong.
You got 20 minutes, yeah.
So we're having a whiteout tomorrow.
Yeah.
Everybody's wearing as much white as they can. We are going to do. I got so much feedback on that little segment of sermon last week.
The segment of service.
Yeah, the segment on the sock.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I got so much feedback that I'm gonna do what we did before. Do the series and then launch the thing behind it.
Okay.
So we're gonna be
So you're starting sock tomorrow?
well really started last week, but we're starting the actual thing tomorrow. Okay. So it's gonna be kind of weird.
It's cool with me.
Because preachers from other churches were calling me.
Yeah.
Man, you helped me Sunday. We were just talking about where's my passion for what I do.
Right.
Where's,
Yeah.
you know, I know at one time I had it and I lost it, and just over and over again.
Yeah. No, that was so good last week. Losing your drive.
I
just feel like it's gone. And
I didn't think it was going to have that kind of impact. It was just
true.
it was a mention for me.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like
Yeah.
people. I looked out, people were crying.
Yeah. It was good.
Wait a minute, what
Yeah.
happened?
You should have a bunch of mismatched socks up on the pulpit, and you're trying to put your life back together, and it just doesn't feel quite. You know, you're trying to piece your life together some way, somehow, and
That's good.
and you kind of get used to
You gonna try on socks
not being
for
able to.
status?
Here, Bishop, he can have his feet all out on Sunday morning. Just
You got ugly feet, Bishop?
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. My mom insisted you take care of your hands and your feet. Insisted.
Yeah.
I did farm work and all, so they don't look like feet that hasn't done any work. But
Yeah.
it ain't looking like what I seen walking around here.
That's true. Yeah, open toe shoes.
I wouldn't wear no sandals if I was some of these people. No.
Right. Get things worked on first.
Frightening.
Lotion your feet too.
Oh my God. You know, and people say, well, I can't find anything that works. Vaseline.
Right. That look.
You don't hear what I'm
never
saying.
Stop. Never
Doc,
always works.
You putting all this chapstick on your lip. Vaseline. You got dandruff. Vaseline. You do it up. No, it works.
It does.
Shoot, man, they going fancy. They got all this stuff that you don't know what's in it. They got 19 chemicals.
Right. Vaseline. Rub them heels up with them bad boys.
Doc, make a world of difference. World of difference. So I'm distressed.
Yeah.
I don't like to watch the news anymore. I watch it because I have to.
Yeah.
Now, what happened with the seniors and the reverse mortgages? I thought that was supposed to be a safe place to go.
So what happened was they were doing the reverse mortgages,
Right.
and then they didn't have the money eventually to pay the fees and stuff back.
But
for
you're
the
not
reverse
supposed to
mortgage.
have to pay it back. So some of the ones that got in the business had a little stuff in the mix there. Because the true reverse mortgage, the payout is from the death benefit of your insurance. And you can either take a lump or you can take a monthly.
Yeah.
But a lot of organizations got into the thing. And I don't think a lot of the seniors did the diligence they needed to.
Yep.
And got caught up in this stuff that had this little fine print in it.
And of course, it's affecting our people the most because most
Absolutely.
of us don't have the money to pay the fees and everything back.
And because most of us weren't prepared for retirement. So this is a way to use your house to get the equity. You
Yep.
know, you get $100,000, $150,000, $200,000, you feel like you're doing a little better.
Yep. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. They couldn't pay they couldn't pay it back. Yep. Yeah.
So what are they doing? A lot of seniors are losing their houses. And these, oh my. And the reverse mortgage organizations are now owning the properties. So they now own the properties that they now can. I don't think they're going to warehouse them. I think they're going to sell them off to companies that do warehouse.
Because when they know this market turn around.
And then they put them back on the market at some point.
For profit.
Oh yeah, they're going to be a profit. They don't do it without that in mind.
Oh, yeah.
You simply have to have the financing available to you, or the wherewithal to pay the taxes on the stuff while you're waiting for the market to improve.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow. You know, people sit around and figure out ways to do this stuff. And it's not like an accident. You know, we're going to put this in place. We see the seniors fixed income. Most of them won't be able to do it. We're going to get the house and the income while they struggle with it. That's just, people sit around and think of these strategies. It's not like, oh, we didn't realize this was going to happen.
Yep.
So there are organizations that are purposely putting seniors out of their homes.
The whole gentrification process.
Yeah.
That's not by accident either. They're letting these communities go down, go in there and buy them all up. Man, if we'd have known better, would have bought some houses up in Harlem when them row homes was cheap. Them things are going for like $1 million a piece.
More than that now. I know a major metropolis, and because I have a couple friends that live there, I won't mention the name. Met with the mayoral staff and the mayor of that particular city, major metropolitan city, and went in talking about revitalizing neighborhoods. Well, we go into revitalize the neighborhood, have the conversations we need to have with the government officials, ask about a particular neighborhood, because the neighborhood that I toured was a neighborhood where we were in it for about 3 hours, and I saw no law enforcement. The whole 3 hours I was there. Parked outside one abandoned home, and a pack of dogs had taken over the house. So when we pulled up in front of the house, the dog looked out the second floor window. I'm like, is that a pit bull up there? No fire trucks would come if there was a fire. There were maybe 9 houses uninhabited, 1 house inhabited, maybe 2 on a block. Single homes, not rows, single. Some duplexes, but mostly single homes. And so when I got to the mayor's office, I asked, what can we do this in the neighborhood? What are you doing? Asked about the police, asked about fire. They don't go. They had a time when they were going to turn the water off to the neighborhood. I said, what about the people? We're letting the neighborhood go. It came out of the mayor's staff mouth. We're letting it go. I said, what about the people? They're going to have to find somewhere to live. We're letting it go. Well, why are you letting it go? What are your plans for it? And that's when the truth came out.
Yep.
We're going to starve them out, burn them out, crime them out. When they're all gone, we're going to go in, take over, and sell it to folk and let them build on it.
Yep.
Planned obsolescence.
Planned the whole thing. Yep. The whole thing.
And I would not have believed it if I hadn't been in the meeting, asking the questions, listening myself.
Yep. And see, this is where my issue is with this whole government is complicit in some of what's going on in these neighborhoods.
Absolutely.
It's not all the people.
Absolutely.
Some part of it's the people, don't get me wrong, but the government is complicit in doing this stuff. For example, like when they were talking about the drugs thing in LA.
Yeah, I lost something.
With the gangs, the gang members are like, we ain't got no private jets. We're not bringing these drugs in here from Colombia. We don't have no passports.
Absolutely.
Somebody's bringing this stuff in here, and you can't sit there and tell me the government didn't know.
They know. People are getting paid.
They use some of that drug money to do these overseas wars and stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And they were bringing them over here on purpose.
Absolutely.
You out all the way?
You're like outside in my head.
Okay.
There it is. Just came back. What was that?
It's just the thing.
Okay. So I listened to government officials say they were letting a group of people just kind of go.
Yeah.
And they said it matter-of-factly. And I did wonder if the people looked different, would they say that? Literally, if a fire happens, the fire company does not go.
Wow.
What?
I was in the neighborhood, a challenged neighborhood, 3 hours, did not see one policeman.
Wow.
Not one.
I wonder if they're doing this for Flint, Michigan, because Flint still doesn't have clean water.
Because they're trying to get them folk out of there.
They still don't have clean water.
They got plans. I remember when buses from New York would come to Camden, and they were buying up houses by the blocks.
Wow.
Yes, sir. I remember those days.
They do that.
The Chinese are coming over buying a bunch of property too.
Asians are doing it.
They are coming over, and they are buying this
It's the
stuff.
long-term view. Somebody's told them, you need to do this.
Yeah.
So they're doing it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So July. Independence.
Yep.
It's our deliverance month. Going to dare to be delivered this month as an overall theme.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow night Haskell's coming.
Yes. Yep.
We've got a great Word of Faith preacher coming tomorrow night. Phenomenal mind, phenomenal anointing on his life. Looking for God to do mighty things. I want you to join us tomorrow all day long, 8, 11, and 6. We're going to be wearing all white at all 3 services. We want you to join us as we come together. We're going to pray. We're going to praise the Lord. We're going to get some incredible words, something that's going to really help you. I'm looking forward to what God's going to do this month as you become independent from those things that have been binding you for the last 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 years. God is going to do a miraculous work in your life. We're collectively believing the Lord for what he's going to do in the month of July. That's going to be the month that you get released from those things that have held you down since you were a child, since you were a teenager. Going to get loose from that stuff. We're going to find some stuff that you thought was lost permanently, but it's just been roaming around inside of you waiting for you to find it. Some stuff you're going to have to go get. Some stuff you're going to have to clean house till you can find it. Some things you're going to have to come back to yourself. But I'm absolutely understanding that you're going to get it. That passion, that desire, all that's coming back in this particular month. I'm excited what God's going to do for you. Somebody's on the line. We're just looking for the name so we can talk to him. Okay. How is the Supreme Court okay with gerrymandering? Now you got to help me now.
From what they said, it's not their job to get involved in this.
Aren't they the Supreme Court?
Yes, they are. Now, mind you, this is why the election was important. They voted. Part of the reason why they voted for Trump was because they would get those Supreme Court seats. Trump put in 2 Supreme Court judges.
Right.
That's a rarity in presidency. Most of them get 1 or none at all.
Okay.
2. So now the Supreme Court shifted conservative. So they are okay with them redistricting stuff.
Wait a minute. Help me out. If you're conservative, that used to mean you're constitutional.
Yes.
That means you did everything to uphold the Constitution.
Yes.
So now you're taking away people's rights, the opportunity to vote. Isn't that a challenge to the Constitution?
Well, to them, they can still vote because the hardship to vote is not illegal. Taking away people's votes is the issue. I can keep you right to vote, but I can make it hard legally for you to vote.
Let's go to. Hey, Danny, how you doing, man?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Pastor Nick? Staff,
Hey, sir.
We're doing the best we can, man, with the hand we were dealt.
It's just some things that you were talking about. It's just amazing how one could not serve, but now you're willing to pose on top of a tank, not inside of one, but get on top of one and do things. And then you talk about the former president, how he eloquently and skillfully used teleprompters, and you said that he had that skill to use it, and then now you can't even distinguish the correct history on things and make major mistakes like that, and nobody says anything about it.
Well, what tells me is he doesn't read his speeches before he goes. I guess the teleprompter gives him the sense that I'll just read it, but most people that have any sense go over what they're being handed to read so you can get familiar, comfortable, and see if there's any errors, see if you want to make any changes. It almost felt like that thing was done on the fly to me, Dan.
Yes. And the other thing that you all were talking about, what is happening here in South Florida, how they are moving people out of certain areas and condemning property in areas, and then you come back a few months later, and not only are they rebuilding in Florida, usually there's a single-level housing developed. Now they're going into high-rise.
Really?
Yes. You can't. Certain areas you can't even see downtown anymore because of the high-rise blocking the view. And
Now, did they have to change some ordinances to do that? Because my recollection of most of Florida is not a whole lot of high-rises in certain areas. Where you got neighborhoods, you have strip centers, where you got stores, but they never seem to be more than 1 or 2 stories high.
What's happening now is that you have such an influx of population coming in to the various areas, is that, like you were saying before, they just let the property run down.
Mm-hmm.
But then they have a plan where this and saying, well, 10 years from now, we're going to take over this area, let it run down. So they, on one hand, it's declared a high crime area, etc.
Okay.
And then once it's run down, then they start building these areas up, and then people are moving right in.
The other thing that I found and I know it doesn't just happen in Florida, but you can have all these regulations in place for building, easements, and all that stuff. But then if the people running the government and the local governments have relationship with the people that are going to build, those rules are bent so you can get what you want done.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's incredible. So you're not bragging about weather today. What's going on?
It's hot, steamy. Yesterday, I guess we were around 92, 93, somewhere in there.
Yeah, we've been hanging in that area too.
Yeah. We got that afternoon shower, and it's just been steamy.
It's been steamy, huh?
Yes, sauna.
Mm-hmm. See. See? Yeah, you're not singing this morning, brother.
Right.
Normally you call up you're singing, but we have our cotton shirts on today too. And how's my sister doing?
She's doing great.
She's doing great. She bouncing back.
Yes, definitely.
Tell her I asked about her, man.
Will do, Bishop. Thank you all.
All right, talk to you soon now.
All right, be blessed.
Bye-bye. This has been On Point. Where are we now?
About almost 2 minutes.
2 minutes. So Houston schools create a dress code for the parents. Now you know it's rough when they have to.
They must have been rolling up.
It's a
in
black
their
principal.
night clothes.
Okay.
And she said, y'all start basically y'all come here in y'all bonnets, pajamas.
What we would call head rag.
Yeah, super tight clothes.
They come in their Walmart clothes too.
Yeah,
that's pajamas at the store.
Yeah.
Pajamas with the head bonnet on.
And she and
they call that a bonnet now.
Yeah, well,
That's real cute. A bonnet.
Bonnet, yeah.
Okay.
She's like, when you come up here, not that you have to be dressed to the nines, but we don't need you come
Represent.
up here. You're dropping your child off at school, and you look like you just rolled out of bed.
And they did.
Yeah. So, and she's black too, so there people are mad at her. It's not like it's
It's not racial.
It's not racial. She's like, look,
It's looking crazy.
Yeah, y'all looking nuts.
Somebody needs to say something.
Yeah, you got a pair of leggings on with your shirt like half. Just she's like.
I'm not sure what happened to us as a culture. I don't know if you're old enough, but I can remember if we were going on a bus trip, you were dressed. You got off the bus. The men would have dress slacks on, sport jacket, cotton shirt, starched up to go on a trip. If you were going on an airplane, you dressed for the trip.
Yeah.
I don't know when it happened that we stopped caring about presentation. We slipped from, wait a minute, here it is. We slipped from presentation as a indication of appropriateness to presentation for reasons not about internal standard, but basically losing connection with the importance of appearance.
Right.
But there was a pride that we had at one time that you'd go to pick people up from the airport and you'd have a nice dress slacks on. I didn't own a pair of jeans till I got to be in my 40s.
Really?
When jeans were for work. I wore those things to work.
Okay.
I wore khakis to work. But jeans, like wearing around and this whole thing. My daughter started buying me jeans and I'm like, Lord have mercy.
I'm glad we can wear.
Huh?
Crazy.
I didn't got.
They're comfortable.
We used to call this bummy.
Really?
We used to call this bummy.
Well, you dress your jeans up and stuff, and you.
Well, you got to do that now. You got to put on a decent pair of shoes or something.
We done.
Whenever you're ready to close.
Okay, I want to thank you for joining us again on the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live on any smart device. David G. Evans 1. So glad you joined us. Now remember, tomorrow's white out here. We're wearing white all day long. We want you to come. We're celebrating your deliverance, your independence, your liberty from whatever has been binding you, hindering you, holding you back. We're going to teach you some things in the Word of God this month. They're going to absolutely loose you and let you live again. Stay strong, and remember, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. See you next time on On Point.